joining us. We are Drew Code Sports Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Wright. This is my co-host, Cody Johnson. Cody, a couple of weeks ago, before all of March Madness and obviously baseball starting, which we will get into later, we talked about who we felt like was going to get into the 8th seed in the Eastern and Western conferences. I predicted the Portland Trailblazers getting in and the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
You had the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about that? And who do you think you might get in if you're changing?
All right, so I'm getting a little nervous now because both the Nuggets and the Heat are about 2-3 or 3-3 right now. They're not that far back though from the last seed. They're only about a half game each respectively in their conference. However, what makes me concerned though is the Trailblazers and the Bulls basically have gone 6-2 each within that time frame. So they're getting hot at the right time, which you made a good call in. It looks like to me that the Trailblazers are going to be a lock-in because they've got a pretty good hold over the Nuggets, and I think the Nuggets, they're going to lose some steam coming into the regular season. I just don't think that. I think that they've lost too much momentum. They basically are 500 since we did our video when I predicted them at first, and the Trailblazers are making a point to get in and prove everybody wrong. And I'm actually really surprised. I didn't think the Bulls would do much. They don't have D Wade. They only had Jimmy Butler, and they've got Rajon Rondo, and those two have been clicking like crazy, and they're pulling out. I've got to be honest, I'm really shocked. I thought the Heat would do it because they were actually on a winning streak. They took over the lead at one point, and then now they were basically tied with the Bulls, and now the Bulls have a half-game lead. So, it's getting really close, man. I have to say, though, there's a report out there that D-Wade will probably be back before the end of the season if the Bulls make the playoffs, which means he'll be a part of their playoff run. That'll be very interesting. I don't think they'll go very far, but I think it'll be very interesting. I'm still going to hold firm to Miami, though, but I'm gonna wave the right flag on the Nuggets. I think you got that one right. Portland is going to go away with the 8th seed, but I'm not giving up on the Heat just yet because the Bulls are at the 7th seed right now, and the way the Pacers are playing, they're probably going to get themselves kicked out of the playoffs the way that they've been losing, and I think that's how the Heat get in. So that's what I'm sticking to, is still the Heat.
How many times am I going to have to tell you to start listening to me, huh? Who predicted this?
After Duke predicted you.
Shut up. I'm good at NBA, not so much at college basketball. No, I don't want you to sell yourself short. You were absolutely dead on Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Milwaukee was going to have struggles because they had, I think it was like 12 remaining games, and 8 of those games were away.
Mm-hmm.
So that already made me really nervous.
Yep.
And they had a tough schedule, and you were right. You know what? They got hot at the right time, and now what? They're in the 5th spot, 6th spot.
They're 6th, tied for the 5th. To an underachieving Atlanta team,
and the 6th spot, yeah.
Right? And so if Atlanta loses tomorrow, I believe, then I think Milwaukee will have the tiebreaker and so be actually all the way to the 5th seed.
So I didn't like Milwaukee. You called it Milwaukee, and they've moved up. I'm really disappointed in Indiana. I really want the Pacers to get in. I'm honestly, it's not because I want you to be wrong. I really want the Heat to not make it because I want to see the Pacers. I really like Paul George. I feel like he should get in. But I feel like if he doesn't get in, it's actually good for the Lakers. Mm-hmm. So maybe, I don't know, it's conflicting.
Yeah.
But, Milwaukee, they deserve it. They got hot at the right time. They're actually on a 3-game losing streak, and they're still in the 6th.
Yeah. So. I got something for you. This just clicked in my mind, and this will probably tie into the first video we did about number 1 college player. Okay, if the Lakers draft Lonzo Ball, and the Pacers are not in the playoffs, considering they started 6th when we did our playoff video 2 weeks ago, and let's say Paul George then goes to LA, and we draft Ball. So now you got Ball. Do you keep or get rid of D'Angelo Russell because now you've got Ingram, George, Randall, and Zubek?
This is what I would do. If we draft Ball, you said, right?
We draft Ball.
Draft Ball. They're gonna keep Clarkson. There's no way they're gonna get rid of Clarkson. They actually really like him. Russell, they're kind of still on the fence about. I feel like if we get Paul George, you get Ball, what we should do, and I really like Russell, I really do. I feel like he can be a really productive player for the Lakers, but I don't think everyone's sold on him. What you should do then is make a trade to get rid of Russell, but also in that trade you get DeMarcus Cousins. I think that would be good. You have DeMarcus Cousins and Paul George. I think it's a good team. Then you have Lonzo Ball, who can learn under those guys, who are very talented players for sure. Paul George is a great leader. He's a great teammate. A lot of people want to play with him, but he's not on a team that's really appealing.
You want to talk about Showtime getting back to the Lakers if that ever happened? I'm just saying now, we're kind of going way off topic. But I just thought of that if the Pacers didn't even get in the playoffs. Paul George, do you really think he's staying in Atlanta? I mean, in Indiana? Probably not. And he's already said before he wants to come back to California and play with the Lakers. And we'd love to have you on the team.
Yeah.
George, come back home.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been talking, to the voice of the Bulldogs. We want you back, man. Come on, man. Seriously, it's home. Anyway, no, I actually like that question. I think that's a legitimate question. But yeah, I mean, you're right, because if Paul George doesn't make the playoffs, he's gone.
Yeah.
There's no way he's coming back in Indiana, because he actually has a relationship with Magic Johnson. So I think it's almost a lock for the Lakers to get him now. I've thought of that on different occasions, and things don't happen. So obviously, things are gonna have to fall into place. But I still want to see Indiana make it. I just think they're a talented team that hasn't been talked about, and I feel like they should be in. It's tough.
I think just what's sad is they're not taking advantage of making sure that they keep their playoff spot. Because when we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and I was saying, hey, watch out for Milwaukee. They're probably going to overtake Pacers for the 6th seed, and now look at Indiana. They're a half game from getting to the 9th seed, which honestly that doesn't get in the playoffs. And they're probably going to get out not because Miami was better or Chicago was better, but because they lost and they couldn't take care of business.
I think Miami is overachieving, and that's great credit to Coach Spoelstra. I think he's done a great job with that team. That team isn't that great, honestly. There's not that many players that you go, oh man, I gotta have them. I gotta have, I like Tyler Johnson from
Fresno State.
There you go. I like him. He's done great coming off the bench. Dragic
is basically the only leader there, and then you got Whiteside. That's basically a walking double-double.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like Whiteside.
So you've got those guys, but you're right. They're definitely overachieving with the roster that they have. They're definitely not strong as far as a team that could beat you at any given day. They're probably going to sneak. If they do sneak in, they're definitely getting bounced, regardless if it's Boston or Cleveland. Honestly, it doesn't matter. But I think what's going to end up happening, Pacers will lose it for themselves before a team overtakes them that's better than them, so.
Yeah, I just am really disappointed in Indiana, but it might be good for the Lakers, so it's kind of hard. With Portland, it's the same thing with Milwaukee as it is with Portland. They got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard, honestly, is really underrated for what he can do. A lot of people just know him from his scoring, but he's actually a really good facilitator, as a point guard should. And then CJ McCollum, I really like McCollum. I think he's good. He's another underrated player who's a good space shooter.
And a good three shooter too, which helps keep the floor open. So
Denver, I really like. I think they're really too young, and in this long stretch, that's where you've seen the inexperience come into effect, where they don't know how to finish the games when it really matters. And I feel like you're right. I feel like Denver is done. I was really disappointed in New Orleans. I know they had a tough schedule coming in after they made the trade for Cousins. But I felt like with Cousins and Davis, you're going to get a lot of scoring. You're going to get a lot more space. Drew Holiday hasn't stepped up worth anything for that.
Right.
New Orleans really underachieved. I'm really upset at them. I think if you're Anthony Davis, you're praying for the front office of, can we please get some depth?
You know what? Why not offer D'Angelo Russell for Cousins, and we'll throw in our second round pick this year, and because that's what they're wanting to do is they want to get better now. And Russell is a 2 or a 1, and he would be a great complement to Anthony Davis. Honestly, I mean, I honestly thought that the Cousins and Davis thing would have worked out better than this, because I thought in a game where you're playing a lot of shooting that you need 2 inside guys, and you have 2 inside guys against these small ball teams, you're not going to be able to keep up because you've got 2 twin towers there that are not going to stop them, and you're going to collect the rebounds and you're going to just dunk all over them or whatever. But actually, what I'm surprised is they're not going inside more, so they're kind of settling for outside shots. But I mean, if you get a D'Angelo Russell over there who can facilitate, shoot the ball when he needs to, and then give it over to Anthony Davis, I think that'd be really good. And with Drew Holiday, you're right, he is underachieving since he's been back. I think if you have him as the true point guard, which he is, and you got D'Angelo Russell over there to help Anthony Davis, I think that'll help because he can play 1 and 2. So I think that's how I think that Pelicans can improve, and how we can get Cousins at the same time.
And to preserve getting Lonzo Ball, which I actually like Lonzo Ball. I think he's decent. To preserve that, I think that would be smart for the Lakers. To trade a D'Angelo Russell, you could trade your 2nd round pick this year and maybe your 1st round pick next year, or just your 1st round pick next year, and you don't have to get rid of any of your picks this year. I mean, you could do that. Yeah. So I like that idea. I think that's good. I want to keep D'Angelo Russell, but if we got rid of him for like a DeMarcus Cousins, I wouldn't be so upset. And I think the Pelicans would do it because they're getting younger. DeMarcus Cousins obviously older than D'Angelo Russell, not like 10 years,
Right.
But I mean, you are getting younger in that sense, and also you get an extra draft pick, which I think with them needing depth, that would help. And I think Anthony Davis, after this year, we need depth. We could have LeBron James on here, and we barely make the 8th seed right now the way that the team is playing.
Right.
So, actually, I don't believe that. I think they'd get the 5th seed.
They would probably.
But I'm just
if you put LeBron on there, they'd probably make the final.
But listen, in all reality, I'm really upset with New Orleans. I felt like they were going to do better. I honestly thought Dallas was going to make a really good push, and they just kind of ended it. It's been Portland and Denver. And Denver, like I said, inexperience there. You know what? Portland deserves to be there. If you're judging off right now, if Denver goes on this huge winning streak, even still, I would rather see Portland than Denver in the playoffs. Just because I want to see Lillard go against Steph Curry. I feel like that would be a really cool matchup. And then CJ McCollum versus Klay Thompson. That's really cool too. That's an interesting matchup, more than Jokic versus Draymond Green or
but then there's no answer for Durant. He would just buckets all day.
So listen. It's kind of easy to predict just judging off what we saw. I don't think you could have predicted Milwaukee. Well, you did.
But no one saw it coming 2 weeks ago when they were out of the playoff picture, and then they stormed back. They're now in the middle.
They
of
were
the
10th. Weren't they? I mean, Denver was ahead of them, and Portland was. So I didn't see Milwaukee doing it. You did. Kudos to you on that one. I'm really excited because Milwaukee is the number 6 seed. They'll either be facing the Raptors or the Wizards, because the Raptors and Wizards are tied as of right now at 3.5 games behind Golden State. Cleveland. Man, that's going to be an exciting game because
I would much rather see it the Raptors and Milwaukee. I think they're a better matchup. I just think if it's Washington and Milwaukee, I think that's almost a sweep. Not saying that Milwaukee won't put up a fight. I just don't think it'll be as entertaining as, let's say, Toronto and Milwaukee.
I don't think that, because I have seen the animal that is being hot at the right time, and being hot at the right time is always good. Especially if you're an NBA team. If you get hot at the right time, especially the way that the Greek Freak is playing right now, they're tough to stop. And you know what? They have a lot of good players that just aren't talked about. Obviously, the Greek Freak is a tremendous athlete, and so he's going to do what he needs to do. But Milwaukee's getting an interesting team. They could win 2 games in the series. I feel like I don't think they put up much fight after that. I feel like, Washington or Toronto is such a better team than Milwaukee. But it'd be an interesting matchup, to say the least. So, yeah, I like it. Our predictions have been pretty good so far. I feel like we kind of know what we're talking about. So
2 weeks left to go in the season, so we'll see.
if you feel the same way, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Drew Code Sports Talk. Also, Drew Code Sports Talk is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please follow us. Please give us feedback, whatever you guys have. We really want to know it. We appreciate all the love and support.